Welcome to Stitcher's Flock.
Editing Tammy. I forgot to say my name is Tammy and welcome to Stitcher's Flock, where whips live. So, back to video number 1.
I'm used to doing this for Booktube, so it's a little different intro, so forgive me. This is FlossTube number 1. I'm going to do a WIP Parade. I'm going to introduce myself, and I have some haul at the end. I don't usually do a lot of cross-stitch haul. I'm trying to go through my stash, but, you know, every once in a while a girl needs haul. So, I have some haul at the end. So, a little bit about me. I am married. We've been married for 20 years next year. Quite happily. But, you know, as you all know, if you're married, a good marriage is work. And some days it's more work than others. But overall, we're very happily married. We live in South Central Texas. Isn't a huge geographical help, I realize. But we live in South Central Texas. My husband grew up in the town in which we live. I'm a Texas transplant. And I really only cross stitch. I know how to sew. My mother once upon a time tried to teach me to do needlepoint. Didn't interest me. I can do from freestyle needlepoint. But in general, I cross stitch. I don't do, crochet or knit or any of those other wonderful handy things. So I cross stitch. I've been cross stitching since I was probably 5 or 6. I don't remember how old I was. My mom taught me when we were on vacation one summer going across the country. So I've stitched on and off throughout my life. I go through periods where I stop stitching. I go through periods where that's all I really want to do is stitch. And at this point in my life, in my now mid-50s, stitching is also therapy. For arthritic hands, cross-stitching is good therapy. It helps keep joints flexible and moving. And so for that reason, if for no other reason, I do need to cross-stitch regularly. So FlossTube will be a very good way to A, hold myself accountable, and B, share what I'm doing. I have been watching FlossTube for probably the last 2 years, on and off. I have some favorites. One of them is Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. And I'm sorry, her name just flew right out of my head. She amuses me to no end, and I love everything she stitches, and she's just herself, and I adore that. I also enjoy Sarah, the Stitching Mommy. Again, she's herself. She goes through a lot of stuff. She has far more whips in progress than I do, and I thought I had far too many, but I've learned since watching FlossTube that in comparison to some people, I don't have an excess amount, which just feels weird. And those are really my oh, and Candace over at again, channel name just flew out of my head. I will link her channel down below like everyone else's I've mentioned. Again, she's herself. You occasionally see her dogs. So those 3 channels are I watch fairly frequently. We have 3 dogs. They tend to make a appearance in my Booktube videos. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden there's a puppy head over here. We also have a macaw who is sitting in the living room with me, staring at me. He generally is quiet during videos, but if you hear some banging in the background, that will be the bird playing, and there's nothing I can do about that. So, without further ado, let's go through my whips. I do tend to stitch stuff I don't really see other people stitching. for the most part. So there may be things in here you have not seen or see very infrequently. So my current WIP in progress is, well, I have many WIPs in progress, but my current love WIP in progress right now is the Stitching Book Club Sal for Anne of Green Gables. I will put a picture of this month's installment if I can find it. And this is how far I have gotten so far. And I am stitching this on 28 count Lugana in Glacier. And I have substituted some threads, but most of the threads in this piece are called for. I do tend to sub threads. I will just tell you that right now. I do tend to sub in my own threads so that it goes better with our color schemes in the house than what necessarily a designer has chosen. Next up, this is not my oldest WIP, and these are in no particular order, by the way. This is Pretty in Pink from Frostwing Collection. This is what it would look like in the called for colors when complete. I'm using the called for fabric, which I believe is 28 count linen. It's dyed by Frostwing Collection. I have substituted I have substituted colors. So here is currently where I'm at. I believe that's right. Nope, this is right. It's currently where I'm at. This is definitely a stitch of love for us, for me. We got married at the Flamingo in Laughlin, Nevada. And I want that piece done by the time our 20th anniversary rolls around. So I have a little over a year to finish it. Shouldn't be a problem if I sit down and do it. Next up is Here Comes the Sun by Shannon Christie Designs. That's what it will look like when it is complete. Although I am thinking of changing what colors it comes. We shall see. And this is where I am so far. I do know that there is a mistake in there. I'm not sure where it is. I'm not overly concerned about the miscount. They happen, and that's okay. Only God is perfect, so if I miscount something, it isn't the end of the world, and I tend not to panic at that. Okay, I just got some pieces out of their pillowcases. So next up, I started this for my husband way back when we lived in Arizona. I'm trying to see when this was released. It was, I want to say 2008, 2006. And that is Merrick by Black Swan Designs. I know this piece is no longer available. And I have done a conversion and can't see all of it, but I don't want to unwind my bars here. But you can see I do have a good portion of the whale of the, not a good portion, maybe a third of the design at his feet done. And I have a long string of his gown done. So that at least has a good start. I love this piece, but it is a work of love that I am taking my time with. I have to find the picture of this. It is probably in my OneDrive. I know this is Ink Circles, and this is circa 2017, and it was stitch along, and I've only gotten one piece done. That is this. So if I can find it, I will put the picture up here. I don't even remember what this is called. And I remember it being choose your own colors. Now, can I find those colors? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I found it this morning, so we will see. Next up is another ink circles piece. I will put the finished product up here. I started this too in Arizona, and this was, I want to say 2008 freebie. That's how far along I'm at. I love this piece. I got frustrated by all the metallic. I think that's what's holding me back. But I may find a substitute for the metallic and get rid of the metallic, because I really don't like working in metallics. I just don't. It never feels good on the hand. So the next piece is from an Etsy shop. I will put its name here on the screen and the picture right here. It is the state of Texas. This piece I started when we lived in Pennsylvania, and I knew we were moving to Texas back in 2021. It looks right. I have a feeling there are some mistakes in it, so we shall see. But that's where I'm at so far. It's also on a much bigger piece of fabric than it needs to be. So I will see what I can do. In fact, the fabric, this is the only fabric I've known so far, other than the Crosswing collection. This is stitched on a 28 count Lugana opalescent called Luau from Silk Weavers, who used to be my go-to fabric source for many, many years. I've had trouble finding them. I haven't done an extensive look either. So a lot of fabric is probably from Silk Weavers, and I have not kept track of what I started and when. So I will do that from now on. But until I decided to do FlossTube, that wasn't a normal part of my stitching rotation. Next up is the Mirabella Cross Christmas Elf Fairy. She will look like this when she is complete. This was a kit. I did not like the kit fabric. I grabbed a pink linen out of my stash. It is undoubtedly 36 count linen. It is a very pale lavender, pale pink. And I'm sorry, I haven't ironed anything. I really don't iron anything until it gets finished. And here's where I'm at. I could finish this if I set my mind to it. I have more done than I thought. Maybe I'll make an effort to do that. Okay, next up is Spring Stack by Waxy Moon Designs. Oops, sorry about the reflection. You can tell the pattern is old school. It's an actual photo. And this is their 86th design, and this was from, I wish they put the year on there, but they don't. And I am stitching it on, this is undoubtedly Silk Weaver. It's opalescent Lugana. It is undoubtedly 32 or 28 count. That's where I'm at. Started this last year. Started that last year. It's a very small start, but it's a start. So I included that. Next up is Lizzie Kate. Everybody do the hop. Here's what it will look like when it's complete. This is, I know for a fact, this is a scrap piece of blue linen that I apparently had a large swath of, and it's been cut up for several pieces. So this is how much I have done. Again, this is using my own floss, and it's silk. So that's undoubtedly a Gloriana silk pink. And here comes my problem child. This is the Mirabilia Halloween Fairy. There she is. I have started this piece 3 times. I have 3 working copies of this piece. So here it is on the original provided fabric. Wasn't a fan. Don't like the browns. So I restarted it. It is on the same pink linen. Yeah, I had a bunch of this pink linen. So I restarted it, converted it to purples. It's a little further along here. I was having trouble seeing this, although I probably won't have as much trouble now. I have a much better pair of glasses. But I restarted it on, can you see? Same colors as the previous one, just a better depth. I don't know which one to do. This one is easier to see than the other one, so I haven't decided yet. It obviously won't be done this year. Hopefully by next Halloween I will have made up my mind and finished it in time. This is a piece I have had 2001. I have the corresponding coffee cup. It is, what's it called? Sunny Days Angel from It's a Dimensions kit. Artwork is by Debbie Munn. This is what it would look like. Oof. It's the kit fabric. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. If you look, oh, hang on. Need a background. Okay. So if you see, I don't know if you can tell. I have pulled fabric. I've pulled threads. I am probably restarting it on a different piece of fabric, different threads, and that fabric is going to be toast. It would just be easier for me to scrap it than try to pull it yet again. So next up is Twigs from Mosey and Me, 1996. Here's what it would look like if you use the called for thread. I, of course, have converted it to my own threads. And this is where I am at. So this one stitches very easily. This is a very stiff Aida, which I do not enjoy. It is probably 16 count, maybe 14 or 16 count Aida. I don't enjoy stitching on this, but it's fairly far along. I just need to suck it up and finish it. It shouldn't take forever if I just do it. So I need to just do it. Oh, for some reason I brought us floss. Okay. This I know is my oldest WIP in progress. I started this when I was in college, way back in the 80s. In fact, I've had to replace the pattern. I don't know if it's available anymore. I bought rebought the pattern in 2001. So pattern was re-released in 2001. Probably repurchased it in the early 2000s. It's Liberty Angel by Leisure Arts. That's what it will look like. I'm stitching it in the called for colors and thread. And I am reasonably close to completion. And won't all fit in frame at once, so there you go. I believe the bottom is almost 100% complete. And this is another one where I just need to stitch what's remaining. and then I can cross this off my list. I may force myself to do this year. If not, I will complete it next year for sure. Because I cannot stand it just sitting there going, why aren't I done? Next up is Summer Stack by Waxing Moon Designs. Here's what it would look like when complete. I've once again done a color conversion. It is on 32 count opalescent Lugana called Jamaican Sparkle from Silk Weavers. And that's where I'm at. I love this piece. My husband will greatly enjoy this piece. I have the entire stack series from Waxing Moon Designs. I think I'm missing the Halloween and the Christmas stacks only. And when I get them done, I'm going to put them on our fireplace mantle seasonally. So I am motivated to do that. In fact, here's the autumn stack, which I should be starting soon, but I don't know that I will. They stitch up, you know, relatively easily. It's just getting started and going. Isn't that something we always say? It's just a matter of getting starting and going. That's the rest of the stack info. Okay. Next up is the Blessed Mother. This is a Janlin design. That's what she would look like if you stitched her in the called for colors. And once again, I have that same wonderful blue linen. I need to measure and make sure this fabric is actually big enough for the piece. But that is where I'm at. Actually, it goes like this. That's her chin right there. Figured it out last night. That's her chin. I think that's right. One of those pieces I want to stitch and I can't seem to find the right fabric for it, and I don't know that that is the right fabric. So it's still kind of up in the air. I need to figure it out. Next up is my 2023 temperature quilt. Funny story, I actually started this in 2022. We got 2 new dogs, and somehow the 2022 quilt temperature chart went missing, and can't find it to save my life. I think the puppy stole it, the wind caught it, and just disappeared. So I've started 2023. Here is where I'm at. And I realized I was missing a piece of floss. So floss came in today. I can carry on. I am in February. I'm a little behind. It stitches up quickly. I will put the finished picture up here. I will say that I love the finished portion of this when it's complete. However, it is not the easiest stitch to figure out when you're doing the pattern. And I had to sit down and count, you know, how many days are in a month and how those days translate into days on the chart. I have it all figured out now, so that's good. So it will be easy to catch up. I just need to catch up. Now that I have the fabric or the floss, that can be accomplished. So, okay, so next up is Mother Nature Winter. It's right here. It is from Just Cross Stitch magazine. I believe the January-February issue of this year. I started this earlier in the year, put it aside. Other things were going on. I went to go pick it up last night, and I don't think the fabric I chose was sufficient in size, and I didn't like the 2/2 look. Almost everything I've stitched recently is 1/1, or yeah, 1/1 or 1/2. 2/2 is just looking very chunky to me. So Mother Nature Winter is going to be stitched on this. It's Lugana, probably 28 count. I don't know if you can see the color. It's a blue-gray mottled. She should look very good on there. In fact, part of the reason I had to place a thread order was because I wanted to do something different from her for her hair. It was very confetti. I don't do a lot of confetti stitching. It drives me nuts. So I ordered this from 123 Stitch. It is sulky cotton. That is the color. So it will go very nicely on this fabric. It's her hair. And I won't have to do the confetti stitching. So I'm pleased with that. It will let me start that project so I can get the other ones in process. So my last in process WIP is potentially a gift for a Booktube friend. It is from the Just Cross Stitch 2023 Halloween issue. And it is the pumpkin spice mug. I will put a picture right here. I grabbed a bunch of variegated leftover floss from my stash, and that's where we're at so far. Again, this is very quick stitching. I just need to finish it up. It looks good. I'm pleased with this. I'm very pleased with it. So that is all of my current WIPs. I'll now show you my stash acquisition. I did some haul, like we all do, on occasion. Sorry for the noise. It's mostly threads. There's some fabric and a couple of patterns. It was a birthday gift from my husband. So this is 123 Stitch haul. First up is a 1/4 yard, 17 by 25, Picture This Plus, 16 count Lagoon in Ada. Not quite sure what I'm going to do on this yet, but it is a good color. And then this is another 1/4 yard of 18 count Ada from Picture This Plus. And what is this? Herald. It is this color. It's very similar to their Mystic color. It's just a little lighter blue than their Mystic. And I have a lot of their Mystic. So, what else? Threads. I bought threads for the Anne of Green Gables Sal. All of those are called for colors, which are just DMC for the most part. And then I am substituting a couple of DMCs for Classic Colorworks. And these are the Classic Colorworks subs. Oops. I haven't stitched with Classic Colorworks before, so I am enjoying them more than I am enjoying DMC. I'm not a huge DMC fan, and you will find that I convert almost everything out of DMC into silk or cotton other than DMC, because DMC and I do not get along. We don't get along. Oh, also ordered this one, which is almost Auburn, but it doesn't go there. Okay. The other ones were just random DMC colors, which, nobody really cares about in the order that I got today because I needed a green for my temperature chart. There are 2 more classic colorworks, I believe, and then some sulky. Oh, this is a classic colorworks. It's called Rose Petal. And this is Gentle Art Bubblegum. Oops. Bubblegum. And yes, I love pink. I realize it's pretty obvious at this point. So the sulky thread I bought the assorted blendables. Popular Colors collection. Looks like this. And then I also bought a single skein of green. I know one of the Mother Natures has green hair. So I picked up some green to see if I, in case I liked it. I also ordered needles, but nobody cares that I ordered needles. And I ordered thread hoppers from my Big Toe Designs. Haven't tried them. I need to try them to see if I like them. So from 123 Stitch, I did order 2 patterns. First one I blame entirely on Candace because I saw her WIP in progress and I fell in love with it. And that is, what is this called? Tea by Nora Corbett. Here's the pattern. Candace's is gorgeous and I truly love it. And then I ordered Hungarian Folk Art number 3 by Glendon Place. It looks like this. Let me take it out of the plastic. It'll be less shine if I take it out of the plastic. Looks like this. And this is for my husband. He is Hungarian. We have this beautiful piece his grandmother stitched. It isn't cross stitch, it's embroidery, but she stitched it a very long time ago. We have it. It will go beautifully with this. Although I will not be stitching it on black like she did. I am old and I would like to, see for a little bit longer. Almost forgot, but it fits here as well. Last night I started, when I pulled out the Mother Nature Winter, I started on it like Jane Austen's bonnet. Picture will be right here from Fiddlesticks Australia off Etsy. And here is my start. I've changed the colors, but I love this piece. It's stitching very quickly. And I truly love that pattern. I've done another piece from Fiddlesticks and her patterns are spot on. They're easy. I enjoy them immensely. And then I picked up 2 patterns by Goffin Designs, I believe. I will put their name down here if that's wrong. I will link them in the description down below. The first one is Seasonal Trees. And the second one is Seasonal Owls. Those are small pieces. They're perfect for our fireplace mantle. They're a good break from, stitching something big. So I am looking forward to starting those. Don't know when I'm going to do that, but, in theory, I'm going to start them soon. So I believe those are all of my current in-process WIPs. I don't even know how many that is. I'll probably have to count and figure that out and figure out how I'm going to keep track of them. I'm probably going to post progress updates every other week. That sounds good. I will link my Booktube channel in the description. I will cross-reference FlossTube on Booktube hereafter. And I hope you found something you haven't seen before or you're interested in stitching. I'm glad to be here. And I look forward to talking to you in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you here next time at Stitcher's Vlogs.